Good morning and welcome to day 4, the final day of a wonderful Cheltenham festival. Ireland absolutely killing England, 17 winners to R4. In fact, Rachel Blackmore's beating the UK trainers this week with 5-4. But it's been marvellous stuff so far and great to see Rachel riding so well. Not the easiest place to ride Cheltenham, Barry.
No, she's riding brilliantly. And you could see that on Tell Me Something Girl. She made all the right decisions. She judged the pace. She timed her challenge. You know, confidence will get you so far, but you need knowledge behind that confidence. And she just rode brilliantly. Allaho she threw the kitchen sink at him. You know, it was a brave ride. She was plucky. She kept going forward. But no, she's flying, and it's great to see.
It's fantastic to see. News from Cheltenham overnight. Obviously, no rain. The going on both courses today is good to soft and good in places, which is lovely that they haven't had to water all week, and looking forward to another great day's racing. And we start with the Triumph Hurdle, the 120. Very strong favourite here with her 6-5 Zanna here for Denise Foster. Then Quilixios at 9-4 for Rachel Blackmore, Henry de Brumhead, and very, very successful winning connections this week in Cheveley Park. Trictronic is 3-1, and then it's 12-1 bar. Your views on the Triumph Hurdle, please, Barry.
I think it's going to involve the top three in the market, and they are head and shoulders, I think, above the rest. Adagio might have a chance, I think, of running well. But of the top three, I've been riding Zanna here all his work, and I think he's a very good horse. I'd have him at the top level of any Triumph horse over the years. I think he's a horse for the future. But I think the same of Triptonic. I was very impressed with him at Kempton. He showed a lot of pace. I thought he jumped better as the race progressed. He stays well on the flat. He's rated 99 on the flat as well. So he's a high level of form, and I'd respect him. I've ridden Quilixios work as well, and I think he is a good horse, but I would take Zanna here ahead of him. And I would fear Triptonic more than Quilixios with Zanna here. So it's I think it's a very good Triumph, but I wouldn't oppose Zanna here. But I think there's value in Triptonic. I think he's the biggest danger.
Very good. And then so we'll move on to the McCoy Contractors County Handicap Hurdle, the 155. Very open race as always, the County Hurdle. I think a few horses are always in these type of races kept a little bit back to give as much as they can on this day, but you still have to land the spoils. We are betting here Ganapathy 11-2, Champagne Gold 6-1, Eclair de Beaufort 15-2, Third Time Lucky 8-1. You raise me up 17-2, and then 14-1 bar. Ultra competitive. Have you studied this race, and you can give us the winner here, Barry, please?
I hope so. You raised me up as one that interests me. I think he's a chance. I'm not so sure whether all these horses are as well handicapped as they might look. There's some good form, but I'm not fully convinced. But a horse I do like, and I think he's got a big price, is Cad Boy, my former boss, JP McManus. I think he's a good shout. He was second in a competitive handicap in Fairyhouse back in November, having won a good handicap in Down Royal before that. So he's been kept fresh, we'll say, between then and now. So I think he's one that'll go well at a good price.
Cad Boy is 18-1 there. So very nice price indeed. So we'll be paying extra places in this race on our spreads and on fixed odds. And we will swiftly move on to the what many people call the potato race, the Albert Bartlett Novices Hurdle, Grade 1. Fantastic race this. And our favourite is, here we go, Statler 9-2, Fakira 9-2, so joint favourites there. Tory Graph 6-1, Streets of Doyen 7-1, 3 under through 5, 8-1, Barbados Bucks 17-2. Again, ultra competitive, difficult to find the winner maybe.
Yeah, no, it's very competitive, and probably not a lot between the ones at the head of the market. I think Statler, I think he shades over Fakira. They were third and fourth behind Gaillard Desmond Neal in Leopardstown last time. Statler has 2 lengths on Fakira. Fakira is a horse who races behind the bridle, and I just worry that he might just get a little bit far back on the better ground. So that'd be a concern for me. And interesting that Jack Kennedy has gone with Torrygraph. He looks a progressive horse, having won his maiden and a nice novice hurdle in Turles last time. So he is one definitely to keep an eye on. But I've been tipping a horse since he's about 20-1, was 3 under through 5. The Paul Nichols horse. He is 4 from 5. It's a good winner in Musselburgh last time, where I don't think you'd really get to advertise your true ability as an Albert Bartlett winner around 3 miles around Musselburgh, being so sharp and so flat. But he stays well. As I say, he's 4 from 5, and I think he's of interest. He's probably each way value.
8-1 indeed, each way value. Swiftly moving on to the Cheltenham Gold Cup. Wellchild Cheltenham Gold Cup. In fact, Wellchild have sponsored the whole meeting this year. Great charity. So, can it be the three-peat? Boum Photo. I'll go through the prices here. I think it's a lovely Gold Cup list. Boum Photo 11-4 with Sporting Index odds. Aprutar 100-30. Champ 5-1. Milena Indo 15-2. Santini 10-1. And it's 14-1 bar. Your views, can Boum Photo do 3 in a row here, Barry?
I think he can. I do think he can. The only stick we can beat him with is the fact we don't get to see him too often. He probably wasn't as impressive in Tremor last time, but Willie felt afterwards that he might have just left him with a bit of improvement. So I take it on trust, and I don't think Boum Photo got to advertise himself at his best in last year's Gold Cup off that slow pace, but still managed to get it done. I was second to him 2 years ago on Annabelle Fly, and it was a solid Gold Cup. He annihilated everything. He was head and shoulders above the field, and it was a really good race. So I think he is a worthy favourite. Aprutar, I would have to question his form. Mellon, arguably, possibly should have beaten him last time in Leopardstown, and Mellon doesn't advertise that too well. So I'm not fully convinced on Aprutar. He is a good horse. I would respect him. But I'd be surprised if he can beat Boum Photo. Champ, what he did in Newbury over 2 mile was brilliant. And Scu Royal, I thought, advertised that form well in the Champion Chase. He'd have gone close if he had not hit a bit of traffic after the third last. So I think Champ can go well, and he's a good each way bet at 5-1. Manila Indo, I thought, would struggle on the drying ground. He struggled the last couple of runs in Leopards on a fall, and then he seemed to be outpaced. So I think he does better on better or softer ground, should I say. Santini, who ran well in the race last year, he does like better ground, loves a test of stamina. There's going to be plenty of pace on here, so he's maybe an outsider to have a few quid on. But I think Boum Photo is going to be hard to beat. I'd have Champ as the main danger and Santini for value.
Right, the ground is identical to Boum Photo's last 2 festival wins, which is definitely a plus, I'd say. So that is the highlight of today. We've still got more races though afterwards. And in the 340, we've got the St James's Palace Festival Challenge Open Hunters Chase. Hunter chasing your thing, Barry?
Well, from a distance, we'll say, Chief. So I won't profess to be a genius in this one, but you'd have to go with the favourite. He's a good level of form. Obviously the Willie Mullins, Paul Townend combination as well. But the horse that was second to him, Staker Wallace, I rode him back just a good few years ago now, and he is a quality horse. He had a good run that day. I think he should improve for it, and he's possibly value each way. But I personally won't spend much time telling you what will or won't win this race.
Well, in terms of betting, Billaway 3-1 favourite, Bob & Co 9-2 for the Nichols Yard. Then it came to pass 15-2, and your fancy, let's say, Barry, here for Ender Bolger is 8-1, Staker Wallace. Let's move on to the second last race, and we have got the Mrs. Paddy Power Mares Chase, and it's another open contest here. So I'll quickly go through the betting. I reckon you've got a view on this race. LMA 4-5, Colreevy 7-2, Shattered Love 7-1, 16-1 bar. Tell us about LMA.
I think she's going to be hard to beat. She's done really well over fence. She was second to Allaho in Turles on her previous start. She's won a Naas since then on very heavy ground over 2 mile. I think the step up and trip to 2.5 and better ground would be ideal for her. She's not the biggest mare in the world, so I think she'll be better suited by slightly better ground. Coolreevy, who's done really well this year, but it's all on very heavy ground, and she looks to have thrived in those conditions. So I'm not so sure about Coolreevy on this ground. The others of interest for me would be Shattered Love, who was second to Ellie Mae in Naas last time. That was her first run after a break. she's won at the festival before, and her best form is very strong. So I would like Shattered Love. Also Magic of Light at a fancy price each way. She is rock solid. She has good form in England. And I think she's a good price chief, is she?
She is. She's 16-1 for Mrs. Jessica Harrington and Robbie Parr. So it's 16-1. Have you been speaking to Robbie overnight, have you?
No, it's one I picked up myself. I did that in my own homework. But no, she's been running well in English. She was second at the Grand National to Tiger Roll. No, she's a very good mare. She's got a bit old, but she's around, and she's been over to Newbury every year, and she keeps winning. And I think she'll run well at a fancy price.
Very good. And then we got the last race, ultra competitive Martin Pipe Handicap Hurdle. I reckon you've got one of the bigger price here, maybe, to run into a place. You're telling me off camera, but I'll go through the markets. Gentleman de Me is 3-1. Ganabco 9-2, Langadan 15-2, Galopin de Champs 15-2, 11-1 Bar.
Yeah, it's a tricky race, but I think it's very important to pick if you're picking a horse here, you want to pick your jockey as well, because they're very inexperienced riders, and you need someone who's got a good level head, as you saw Jordan Gainford 2 days ago, and you need a fella who's up for the big occasion, if you like. So a couple that I do like are Falcano. Ben Jones comes in for the ride. Jordan Gainford rides the other of Denise Foster's runners, but I'd say only because this fella was first reserve, he probably had to commit for Front of the Salt. So I like Falcano. And one at a fancy price, I thought Dreamberry, a little bit long on the tooth, down 8 pounds from his best, but has a habit of running well, especially fresh. First run back after a break. So I think he's about, what is he, Chief?
50-1, Barry.
50-1. I think he's worth a small little each way. A bit of interest for the last.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much, Barry. It's been brilliant listening to your wonderful insights as ever. I hope to see you in person next year. Now, you have given us a bashing all week, you Irish, but I hope we come over to Dublin and give you a beating in the rugby tomorrow, maybe.
I'd say you have a better chance there.
But again, that's on the spread markets. It's a very close match. England very tight favourites. So who knows? Anything can happen in that type of thing. But it's great days rugby tomorrow to look out for on the Sporty Index website. As ever, thank you for joining us all week. Really enjoyed giving views every morning to you. And remember to bet responsibly. It's 18+, and if you're spread betting, that your deposit can exceed your losses can indeed exceed your deposits. Have a great day and good luck, everyone. Thank you very much, Barry.
Cheers, Chief.